Hi guys, today we're doing something slightly different. We're doing a review stroke preview of a couple of ice watches or ice lookalike watches. These are, you want to call them repos, knockoffs or fakes, whatever you want to call them. Unfortunately they're not the genuine article, although what I will say from the start is that both of these items were bought from a well-known auction site and they were sold by the sellers as genuine. Sellers were convinced that these were genuine items and probably had a lot of them to sell, and I'll explain to you and show you what's not genuine about them. So this is slightly different than a normal review. I won't go through the dimensions on these watches. I'll explain a little bit about that in a little while. So first we'll just go through the style and features and what to look for when you're buying an ice watch. So without further ado, let's get started. First watch I have in my hands is the ice white watch, as it is known on the ice website, and it's worth looking at the ice website whenever you're looking to buy an ice watch. So if you're looking at one on an auction site, have a look at its features, its colouring, what it features on its face. Is the face the same colour as the casing? Is there extras to it? Then check against the ice website and see if it actually exists or not. Now this watch does exist on the ice website, but there's a number of differences between this and an actual original watch. The main difference in all of the fake or said reproduction or whatever you want to call them ice watches is generally the second hand. The second hand and the writing above the copyright on the little eye above ice and the word watch should be, on 99% of their watches, orange. So ice use an orange colouring for their second hand and some of their writing. Not all their range does. Some of their range will have other colours which will be to match the face or the case, but generally speaking it's orange. On the fakes it's always red. So you'll notice it's very difficult on this one, but you'll notice there that the second hand is red. It doesn't match the original. The other thing that's different on this watch as opposed to the original watch is that the crown has the ice logo. So it looks okay, that's nice. However, the original watch, when you check it out on the website, doesn't. It actually has a red, looks like a red crystal on this part here. So a red blob of plastic makes it look a bit like a more expensive watch. And of course the other thing you notice is that the fake watches or reproduction watches, the quality is never that brilliant. So you'll notice on this one in a couple of places the actual paint, if you can see by the date window and by the between the 1 and 2, paint's coming off the face. But if you didn't notice that, then it actually does look like the original watch. They do tend to over logo, so you've got logos here in the strap. You've got the proper back. The back is about as original looking as it gets, although again with all of these watches the back looks like a screw-on back. However, it isn't. It's just a clip-on back. You see a little just about there. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a little point where you get something underneath it to lift the back off. So the back snaps off. It's not a screw-on, although that's what it's supposed to look like. But as I said, you get logos everywhere. Normal straps. So it looks as it should do. Now the other watch I have is an Ice Glow. And it's listed as Ice Glow by the seller, and again you can straight away see that it's got a dark red second hand and also red writing on the ice watch logo and the little dot above the eye, both in red. So it's a fake. The other thing that's different on this watch, which is straight away evident if you know your ice watches, and one of the things you should look at on the website when buying one, is that this watch doesn't actually exist in this form. They do make the Ice Glow watch. Looks very similar to this. The only thing is the originals don't have a date window. There is no date or date window on the original Ice Glow watch. Other than that, this looks exactly the same. Again, same thing, the logos everywhere, strap, pins, back's the same, original looking back. So everything looks like it should look. Again though, the quality is there to be seen for everybody. You can't see it very well here now, but literally after about 2 weeks, this bezel actually fell off the watch. Literally came off my hands and had to be super glued back on. So at the moment it's just glued on. So they do fall apart. However, having said that, it's not something I spent an awful lot of money on. I was very lucky, these are incredibly cheap, so I knew these were not going to be original watches, even buying them from an auction site. And sometimes people do sell things really cheap on an auction site because they don't get enough bids, so things can go cheaply. That's how an auction site works, that's what it's there for. But these ones, sometimes you can see these go for quite a bit more money. If you had spent a lot of money on one of these and you'd got it from the site and it came to your door, and then you found out by taking it to a jeweller's to have a new battery fitted or something like that, that it wasn't an original watch, you would be very disappointed, because you may have spent a lot of money and you've ended up with what looks okay, but is officially not the original watch. However, on the other hand, if you did buy this watch very, very cheaply, and you purely wanted them just to tell the time, you wasn't that bothered what they looked like, the fact that they were an ice watch or not, then to be fair, these aren't bad watches. You buy these watches if you're going to work or use them for something where you don't mind it getting damaged or lost. These were less than £10. I think one of them was £4.99, the other one was about the same, £5-6. They weren't expensive watches, and they're very, very useful for using around the home, doing rough work with. And strangely enough, it's a bit surprising how much work's actually gone into them. The Glow watch, for example, everything glows as the original. The strap glows, the case glows. The difference on this watch as to the original watch is the face itself doesn't glow. Now the original Ice Glow watch, the face glows as well. But other than that, this actually has been an incredibly reliable watch. It keeps time better than probably any of the other watches I've got, strangely enough. And I've got some really good movements in some of the other good watches. Brilliant quartz movements. This is just very reliable. And for such a cheap watch, for a knockabout watch, it's a throwaway watch really. That's what I bought it for. Just to have a look. And like I said, I've had it for a couple of years or so. It's been incredibly reliable. It's kept time perfectly. This one I had for about a year. Same thing again. It's been really reliable. It looks tatty because bits have fallen off the face, but it's a good marker as to what a fake would look like. This does actually work. The bezel on this, when you get it going, does actually turn. It's very, very tight. So it's a cheap watch. So okay. Now, generally speaking, I'm not a buyer of ice watches. There are other resin, silicone, plastic watches on the market that I find really, really good. Ice has done a very good job of replacing Swatch in the fashion style stakes. So with Ice, what you tend to pay for is the style rather than the quality. Having said that, there are a few Ice watches that I do like the look of. The Ice Star watch, in fact, the metal watch does look really good, and I'm trying to get hold of one of them at some point. But other ice watches, I can take it or leave it. There's other makes like Seconda do some nice silicone watches. The limited watches, which you'll see my other reviews of, I've got a lot of those. So there's a lot of other watches on the market that are cheaper than the Ice brand. The Ice tend to be, you're paying for the style, so they're a little bit more expensive than really they should be. I don't think they're always good value for money, but they are really nice looking if you want a style watch. So it's one of those things, you take it or leave it, and you make your own mind up about it. But anyway, if you are looking at one on the internet, be very careful. I would always recommend buying an Ice watch from a shop. Go to the shop, get a look at it, feel the size, because they do 3 different sizes. Other than that, be wary on the internet. But there are a few good places to get them from. But personally, I would always buy from a high street retailer where you can have a feel, look, and you'll know if it's genuine or not. So anyway, guys, hope this helps, and see you later. Bye bye.